Women amongst India's growing diaspora are being seen as being in the forefront of creating community-level partnerships between India and the world. From social work to building women-led companies to sensitizing their own countries about India, diaspora women are playing an important role in creating greater connect between India and the world. NDTV's Gauri Dwivedi spoke to a power-packed panel of diaspora women. Let's listen in to that conversation.
It's Nari Shakti on full display. With me are the panelists of a session that's very close to my heart, which speaks about women empowerment and also ensuring that what women-led businesses can do is really brought out to the forefront. Thank you so much, ladies, for speaking to me. And let's quickly start with the, in terms of what this means to you. We'll keep it short answer, so we cover all of it. What this means to you, the importance of women and the importance of having a diaspora dialogue focusing on women.
I think India today really is moving towards empowering women in all aspects, and having provided us with such a respectable and such an honorable position and a place to speak on such an important topic is really very important. Thank you so much. Yes.
Juliet, you are from Jamaica. Talk to us about the connect as far as Jamaica, India is concerned, and also the fact that women-led businesses, women-led organizations, how much they are building the bridges between India and Jamaica.
I think it's amazing that we get this opportunity to talk about what women are doing. And Jamaica and India has a 180-year history. And over the past few years, that's only been getting better. And Jamaican-owned businesses by Indian diaspora are also growing. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us to use our position as women to ensure that we get our part of that ever-growing pie.
Dr. Indrani, you are pretty much representing Trinidad and Tobago here. Talk to us about women empowerment, because that's an area that you work very closely on. And what's been your experience like in terms of getting Indian women and building that connect with Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, you mean both from India and Trinidad?
Yes.
Yes, well, it's been a challenge because we don't network as neatly as the men do. But we are certainly growing that now with our women here. And I'm so glad for the opportunity to mix the different diasporas. Usually we exist in silos, but it's wonderful to come together. Indeed. As women.
Yes. Sakala, there's an area that you work very closely on, which is textiles. And I think that's one sector where women dominate. They dominate in terms of employment, unfortunately not in terms of returns. Tell us what it's been like so far.
So one of the things that, hi, thank you for having me. One of the things that I've found over the years is there's not been enough focus on India-led businesses, whether it is men or women. Fashion is one of the biggest businesses in the world, $40 billion worldwide. And India has a significant chunk of it for luxury. So I'm trying to focus on sustainability and luxury fashion of India with the diaspora all over the world, getting to know a little more about the Indian brands and proudly encouraging it.
Ms. Sagar, you are, I know you're from Indonesia. What I was coming to was you are really taking the Indonesia-India Business Connect forward. Talk to us about women-led entrepreneurs, women-led companies and women entrepreneurs in your experience.
Yes, I thank you. And it is very important for women to support each other. And I think we are all change makers. And the more together, we are stronger. So in the Business Connect, it is women who take other women forward. And I think in Indonesia, women are very empowered. And I think this is something that we all need to learn from each other. How to be stronger together, how to support each other and take each other forward.
I want to ask from you, ma'am, how important, come forward, ma'am, how important has this diaspora dialogue been for women and from women's point of view?
I think it's very important because it's not putting a very important topic on the agenda. It's also a crucial part of Viksit Bharat. And if we succeed to empower women and help them and support them to reach in leading positions, women together with men can make history. India can be a role model for all the entire world. So I'm really proud of the Indian government who is putting this on agenda.
All right, Sudha, you're coming from Tanzania. Tanzania has a very large, vibrant, prosperous Indian community there. Talk to us about your experience, areas that you're focusing on, and how much do you think movements like Pravasi Bharati really build on those connects?
This is indeed a great platform for us. And as a mental professional, I always vouch for the mental health of the women around the world. And my one Shakti, what I think, or my one voice is that we women, we need to have a choice to choose whatever we want to do. That is the freedom.
And ma'am, let me ask from you in terms of specifically Eastern Europe, Slovenia and several other regions. How do you see the diaspora connect there? How do you see the kind of programs that are being led there? And I want to ask you specifically when it comes to Nari Shakti, how is it that's being bolstered?
I live in Slovenia since last 50 years, and Nari Shakti is very, very strong in Slovenia. All the Slovenian women, they work. They don't want to stay home and be commanded by their husbands. No way. They don't take any commands. They are all working in the home. They work in the house. They take care of their babies and keep full-time job in their offices.
I'm going to, this is a question I put to all of you, and all of these are, in fact, panelists who are joining in this session on Nari Shakti. And it's a quick question I want to ask all of you, which is that in your assessment, what is that one thing that you would want, whether it's from the government, whether it's from the civil society, to really build on A, women empowerment, and B, ensuring that the connects that we're trying to do with diaspora furthers? Quick answer.
I think on the women empowerment part, I can say that according to me, something which has helped me really come.
What would you want?
Yes. That is for them to promote more, physical defense activities for women, be it Malkhambh. We have so many of our own indigenous self-defense activities.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
That would be to support women-owned Indian businesses locally and abroad.
Mine's education. Yeah, I'm currently at Banaras Hindu University. We've done a course on India's diaspora, Hindu diaspora, and we're planning one on women.
Oh, great. Yes.
Financial independence for women, because I think that's extremely important that we stand on our own 2 feet. So across the board, teach them a skill set that they can use.
Anything that would that be for diaspora women as well, teaching them, ensuring that they get more financial independence?
Absolutely. I'm working with a couple of NGOs on that. I mean, I can't speak too much about it because it's still in the nascent stage, but education is very, very high on the agenda.
I would say gender inclusivity and having programs which promote it and which support it.
And where would that fit into the Indonesia-India dialogue?
So the women-owned enterprises, the women-owned businesses, I think it's a great way to connect India and Indonesia, to promote it.
I think we need a framework, and we need strategies and systems to embrace women and connect gender equality and diversity to value creation, sustainability, and innovation.
What would you want from Tanzania government?
Definitely mental health promotion, and that is the awareness and promote mental health in women so that we achieve success in our multitasking responsibility.
From you,
Never give up.
never give up. Absolutely, never give up is the word coming in from this entire women panel.